Hi there. Welcome to Cats in the City, by Sith Sense. I'm Johnny.
And I'm Pearl.
Together, we would like to share with you pieces of interesting knowledge that we find.
And that could be useful to you in the future.
Pearl, let's start coding today.
Okay, let's look at this script in Colab.
Here, print, open parenthesis, open double quotation marks, hello world, close double quotation marks, and finally close parenthesis. Then, click the play button to run the code.
Congratulations! You've just write and run your first code.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Printing hello world is just a rite of passage that signifies your entrance into the world of Python.
Yes, it's a ritual that every Python programmer has to go through. Now, let's start from the basic.
Firstly, we'll examine the Colab notebook. This rectangular box is called a cell. Its content can either be codes or texts. You create more cells by clicking on either one of these two buttons. And if you want to delete the cell, you click on this trash icon.
The difference between a code cell and a text cell is actually quite obvious. Can you see the differences?
A text box is just like any document editor. There are many text formatting functions on top of the cells. However, we'll be using a writing style called Markdown in future videos. Don't worry, Markdown style is very easy to learn and you'll soon grow fond of it.
In this video, we'll focus on the code cell. We'll use the terms code and script interchangeably. Both of these terms aren't exactly the same, but we'll forego their differences for the time being.
The basic building block of Python is data. Data comes in different types, and different data types can do different things. In programming, data type is an important concept.
Python has 8 built-in data types by default. They are text type, numeric types, sequence types, mapping type, set types, Boolean type, binary types, and none type. We'll study the text and numeric types in this video.
In our first code, print hello world is the data, and it's a text data type. A text should be enclosed inside two quotation marks. Python doesn't differentiate between single or double quotation marks. You can use either one depending on your preference.
Notice that you must put a text data type in quotation marks. If not, you will get an error message.
Yes, see this example. When I didn't use quotation marks, I received a syntax error saying invalid syntax.
Let's print a different data. Let's print 1234, 1234. See the difference? When you print a numeric type, you don't have to enclose it in quotation marks.
Take note that 1234 is a whole number or an integer. On the other hand, 1234.5 is a decimal number, and in Python, the correct terminology for decimal number is floating number, or float for short.
All numeric type can be positive or negative numbers, just like in our mathematics class. And just like in mathematics, the difference between an integer and a float can be minor, or the difference can be very significant under different scenario.
Sometimes, you might want to find out the type of your data. You can do this by using the type function, like this.
str is short for string, which means a text data type.
There may be times when you want to specify a type to your data. For example, you can force the float number, 123.0, to be a string like this. Now, the number has become a string. Notice the quotation marks surrounding it.
This process is called casting, using a constructor function. There are many constructor functions, as shown in these examples. This is a very useful feature, and we'll be using it a lot in the future.
We won't be covering all the data types. You can easily look them up online.
In conclusion, there are many built-in data types in Python. And today, we have used 3 functions, i.e. the print and type functions, and finally the casting process that used the constructor functions.
That's all from us this time. I'm Johnny.
And I'm Pearl.
Bringing you bits and pieces of interesting knowledge from cats in the city.
Thanks and see you next time.